will start their opening possession from the 25-yard line. Carson Wentz, under center. Yellow, red, hike, back to pass, play action. He's looking, he's pumping. Now he's going for it all. He's got Desean Jackson at the 50, the 40, 30, 20, 10, touchdown. Desean Jackson, first play of the game. Kick the red, double move on the red. Everybody know it. Kick thing back here, so it starts. I've been waiting for week 1 of the NFL season since we lost to New Orleans, since we traded for Desean Jackson, since we got Jordan Howard. Man, it's finally here. 2 days away. I cannot wait. I am not going to sleep at all Saturday. I can tell you right now. And just for all you guys who don't know, or if you're wondering, I will be streaming this game. I'll be streaming every Eagles game. So be with me, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 Pacific time. I'm going to be streaming Eagles, Redskins. It's going to be insane. It's going to be fun. Now, before I get into this game, Redskins, Eagles, week 1, there's a few things I want to talk about. The first thing is, I want to address this Antonio Brown thing, right? Because it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. This dude's nuts. I don't understand this guy. Like, I understood Terrell Owens' position in the past. I could even understand Odell Beckham after doing a bunch of coke on a boat before the playoffs, not knowing where the hell he is. I could get that on some level. But Antonio Brown just got paid. He just got paid in March. He hasn't played 1 game yet, and he may be thrown off the Oakland Raiders. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen. I'm not kidding you. This is nuts. And here's the thing. A lot of people have asked me, do you think the Eagles will go after him? Do you think the Eagles will go after him? Because if he gets cut, he's going to be cheap. He'll be real cheap. I mean, nobody's going to give him big money. He would have to go somewhere like on a 1-year prove-it deal. Do you think we should get him? And my answer, absolutely 100%, no. No. I mean, the guy is an unbelievable talent. Arguably the best receiver in football. But I just can't bring that into this locker room, to this chemistry of our locker room. I mean, we've heard so much about how well the Eagles, get along, the players, and how well they mesh, and just, they deal with things. They deal with things internally. They get it done. Look at the Doug Peterson-Bradham thing. They had a little, back and forth or whatever happened. They talk. They work it out. No problem. I don't know that Antonio Brown would be able to do that with the Eagles. So I say, just so you guys are asking, I don't expect it to happen anyways, but just because I've had a lot of questions, no, I would not bring him in. No, not even thinking about it. Okay? To be honest, if Antonio Brown gets cut from the Raiders, if he doesn't play with the Raiders, there's only 1 team that I think he ends up with. Only one. There's only 1 team I think he's going to end up with. And you probably know who it is. The New England Patriots. That's the only team that I think could possibly handle him. That's it. He will end up in New England. You watch, and he'll go there, and he'll be a model citizen, and he'll play great. It's just always the way it is. It's very hard for these players to go in to a team like New England and do the kind of stuff that Antonio Brown is. But who knows? He can never play again. Who knows what's going to happen? Craziest thing I've ever seen. Had to address it. Now I want to talk about what we're all here, what we're all waiting for, what we all ready to do right now. And that's to play some football. Redskins, Eagles, week 1. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play this game now. I can't wait. I know you are too. Now, in 2017, the Eagles opened up against the Washington Redskins. They won, and they went on to win the Super Bowl. History has a way of repeating. It has a way of repeating. Terrell Owens comes to Philly. First play that he plays. It was a preseason game, but him and McNabb out there, right? McNabb goes long. Terrell Owens touchdown. I expect history to repeat with Carson Wentz going long to Desean Jackson the first time they're both on the field. It's going to happen, and that's how I see the Eagles starting this season. Now, the biggest concern I have going into Sunday versus the Redskins is really what I saw last night from the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. You had two quarterbacks that took no snaps in preseason at all, and they looked like they were playing the first preseason game of the year, okay? They were sloppy. They weren't that good. Aaron Rodgers got it going on a little better than Mitch Trubisky, okay? He stunk last night. He was horrible. And, my man Josh, all I can say to you, shout out Josh from the Sports Fury, all I can say to you is this. I'm all out of whiskey, cause I lost my Trubisky. I know Philly was right to say that the Bears still stink. They stink! Love it! I love it! We took that team so in the playoffs. We're taking them all. I'm ready. Let's play this game right now. I can't wait. Woo, I'm pumped. I'm telling you, I am fired up for this game on Sunday. Now, I am worried about Carson not having any preseason game or any snaps of preseason. I am worried about the offense not being out there a lot. And I think there is a chance that we could have a slow start. Now, one of the mistakes I thought the Bears made in that game yesterday when they were struggling and clearly they had no chemistry going is they did not run the ball. Okay, they did not run the ball. There is no better way in football to get yourself into a rhythm, get the offensive line going, to kind of get the game to kind of slow up, than to basically go out and establish the run. And what I would like to see from the Eagles early in this game, okay, now I expect them to come out, I expect the big play to Desean Jackson early. Maybe the Eagles, they have one good drive, score a touchdown, then there's a little bit of rush showing here or there, timing's off a little bit, that kind of thing. I expect you to run the ball. That's where you want to start using Jordan Howard, use Miles Sanders, use these guys and get the offense into a rhythm. I think it could help a lot with a slow start. If the slow start happens, totally possible Carson could just come out and be the North Dakota assassin. Boom, 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 boom. That could happen too. But I'm just saying, if for some reason we're in a situation where we're just off a little bit. We're rusty, right? We don't have any chemistry because we haven't played the starters all preseason, and we're looking like Green Bay or Chicago. I think you need to just run the ball. Pound Jordan Howard. Pound Miles Sanders. Pound Corey Clement. And get your offense in a rhythm. And I think, really, that's my biggest concern coming into this game, is just we haven't played at all during preseason. And I think that this could make it the first half at least kind of close and competitive. By the second half, the Eagles will get going, and I think they'll eventually blow this thing open. When I look at Washington, okay, especially defensively, I really like their defensive front. I think they got a great defensive line. I like the front seven overall, okay, and they can play the run pretty good. They can get to the quarterback. I mean, Kerrigan is a really good player, okay, and he has gotten to Carson Wentz many times before, so he is a big threat. He is always a threat. That defensive line is a threat, and I think it's the strength to the Washington Redskins. But I tell you what, if the Eagles run the ball, especially early, I think they can negate a lot of what Washington would want to do, okay? Then, when you look at, their secondary with Josh Norman versus our wide receivers, okay, I don't think Josh Norman's the same guy he was back when he was with Carolina, okay? I just don't. So I'm not really concerned. I think the receivers have a big advantage over the Washington Redskins secondary. And Landon Collins, let me tell you, he stinks. You don't know. I mean, he stinks. We know how to beat Landon Collins. We know how to pass on him. He stinks. Everybody lights him up. Okay, the Eagles always light up Landon Collins. He can't cover. So I am not scared of him. I am not scared of the Redskins secondary. Their front concerns me a little bit, but we'll be okay. We'll be okay. And then as far as our defense goes against Washington, well, look, our defensive line is just as nasty, if not more. They have, Eric Flowers at guard. I mean, did anybody tell the Redskins that Eric Flowers stinks? He stinks! And he's trying to protect Casey Stinkum, who stinks too. I mean, this is where I think the Eagles have the biggest advantage in this game. Their defensive line versus the Washington Redskins offensive line. They don't have Trent Williams playing, okay? They have Donald Penn in his place. Trent Williams is their best lineman. And the Eagles, their defensive line is going to feast this game. And the one key against Casey Stinkum is get pressure on him. Get pressure on him and he folds. He folds like a rubber duck, okay? That's what he is. He's nothing. He stinks. He ain't going into Philly, okay? It just ain't happening. The only chance the Redskins have in this game is they gotta have a huge day on the ground. They need Darius Geis to have like 25 carries, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, have like 7-8 minute drives, keep the Eagles offense off the field. That's the only way, because when it comes to the Redskins receiving game, and the receivers versus our secondary, I'm not worried at all. I mean, the best guy they have is Paul Richardson, who's got some talent. But besides that, who do they have? They've got nobody. They got a rookie starting on the other side. I'm not worried about the Redskins passing game at all. Okay, I'm not worried about it one little bit. Not their tight ends, not the receivers, nothing. The only way the Redskins are going to be able to hang in this game is they got to be able to run the ball effectively, okay? And then they're going to have to use their secret weapon. Their secret weapon is, right? Wendell Smallwood. Forget it. That's a bad joke. I'm sorry. He stinks, too. So he goes to the Redskins. They all stink. Redskins stink. This is the whole thing I'm trying to tell you, peoples. They stink. Eagles winning this game. The only thing the Eagles they have to worry about is a slow start. And look, you can't, I'm making a lot of jokes about it, but you can't take an NFC East division rival lightly, okay? These games are always close. These games are always competitive. These games are always tight. So yes, I joke around, but in all seriousness, we got to take it seriously because it is a division opponent and anything can happen within the division. But when you look at the matchups from our teams and our positions to their positions, we're a far better team, okay? Our defensive line is better than their offensive line. I believe our secondary is better than the receivers. Their running game is good, and that's decent, and that's where they're going to have a chance. The other thing I do worry about with the Eagles is, Fletcher Cox, Darby, Bradham, all these guys haven't played a lot. Are they going to tire out quickly? Or are they going to have to rotate out? We'll have to watch that too. But, for all intents and purposes, I like the Eagles secondary over the Redskins receivers. I like our defensive line over their offensive line. I like our linebackers. I like everything about our defense over the Redskins offense. Then you look at our offense against the Redskins defense. I think our offensive line is good enough to deal with that Redskins defensive line. So even if you wanted to call that even, okay, I think the Eagles running backs are too good for their linebackers. The tight ends are too good for their linebackers. And our receivers are a lot better than their secondary, okay? Fabian Moreau, to me, is their best corner. And I don't think he's playing. So, to me, the Eagles have a far advantage in talent and roster, no doubt about it, and coaching advantage I give to the Eagles also. So when I look at this game and I look how it's going to play out, I think the Eagles are going to strike early with Desean Jackson. Then it's going to slow up and be a little bit sloppy first half. And then I say the Eagles kind of getting it going and then pulling away late in the fourth quarter. And I think the Eagles are going to win this game. The Eagles are going to start 1-0. They're going to win this game 27-14. That's going to be the final score. But I think somewhere around halftime, it may be like 17-10, something like that. And then the Eagles will pull away later on. And I'm going to say 27-14. Eagles beat the Redskins. As far as individual performances of the players, I think Carson Wentz has about 300 yards passing, throws 2 touchdowns, one to Desean Jackson, one to Dallas Goedert. I think the Desean Jackson touchdown's coming on the first play of the game, okay? I also think that Miles Sanders is going to have a breakout game. I think he's going to explode onto the scene. I think there's going to be a lot of focus on Darius Geis and him getting his chance and look how good he looks. He's a good running back. He is. But I think that everybody's going to be shocked when they see Miles Sanders play in this game. I think Miles Sanders is going to have a big day, have at least 1 touchdown, maybe 2 touchdowns. So I'm very excited to see Miles Sanders. I think it's going to be a big day for him. So that's kind of how I see this game going. Eagles will start 1-0. I might have a video out on Saturday. We'll see. And if I don't, I'll be streaming here, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 Pacific. Come hang out with me. Let's make this happen because the Eagles are about to start the season 1-0 again. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.